What is your personal investing strategy for 2025? How are you allocating your money? What's your goal?
I just put an LOI on a piece of commercial real estate. Oh no, we just went to contract on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Congrats.
it's going through zoning, and if we get through due diligence on it, we'll start developing.
What's the goal in mind with this real estate?
40 years. Yeah, it won't be for me. I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for my grandkids. So my son-in-law runs all our real estate, Rachel's husband, and he and I are having a blast. And he'll run it, and someday, I mean, it's a wonderful piece of property, and it's a large deal, and it'll take a decade plus to build it all the way out.
Oh,
And
really?
so, yeah, it's several pieces of, it's from retail on the front, some office in the back, and that kind of stuff.
What's
It's
your-
a hotel on it? That kind
What's
of
your
thing.
secret to getting a good deal?
On that deal, that particular one, I don't know that I really got a great deal. I usually buy stuff at south of 70% of retail appraisal. In that one, I am doing something I don't usually recommend. I'll just be authentic. On that one, I got a good price on it. It'll appraise for more than I've got it tied up for, I think. But what I'm really betting on, it's right on the edge of the growth ring, and so I'm just betting on. It's a great long-term play. So it's a value purchase rather than a price purchase kind of thing. And in that particular case, if we were buying something that's cash flow apartment right now or something like that, I'm just looking at ROIs and looking at net operating income. I'm looking at the cap rates and just saying, okay, what's my cash on cash, because I pay cash, and so what am I going to get out of this now, and how poorly is it managed, and can I get the occupancy rates up and so forth.
How did the numbers shake out on this? And I'm also curious, obviously, you don't need to be doing any of this, but I'm curious, are you just like scouring LoopNet still? Like you're looking at deals, trying to find something, calling the person, like, hey, any offers on this?
Winston, he does all.
So you have people that
they came in and said, hey, here's 4 or 5 things we got to look at, and I went down, drove the truck up on it, sat up on a piece of ground, and go, yeah,
checks out.
Traffic counts here. This feels good, and I know exactly. I grew up in this area, so I've watched this progress for 50, 60 years. So I got a good feel for it that way. Feasibility studies in my gut, and so and then we go and we do all the other stuff too. So we'll do all the stuff during due diligence. But no, I'm not scouring it. But I do. I just love messing with real estate. I grew up in the business, and it's the thrill of the chase, and the building stuff is fun, and and the numbers are great. It's a great return on investment.
What sort of return do you look for?
Most of our commercial stuff, when it's built out and everything, would be it's going to have an IRR up in the 20s, but a cash on cash would probably be 12, 14 most of the time.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's
something like
phenomenal.
that. But the IRRs, including your depreciation schedules, your appreciation and all that stuff, that's the IRR, right? Internal rate of return. And so, we want that to be up in the 20s or 30s easy. But there's a hassle factor involved in all that stuff that you don't have. Mutual, if I want to throw something in an index fund, I can make, 11, 12 the last 2 years, 23, 24, but, and not do anything hardly, just open the computer screen and look at it. But this stuff you actually have to work on. So I always laugh when people say real estate's passive. That's just stupid to me. There's nothing passive about it.
Yeah.
It's very active.
I'm curious, are you seeing a lot of opportunity in commercial real estate right now? We have a friend, Ben Mala. I don't know if you've ever, well, he does a lot of commercial real estate over in Florida.
Oh, wow.
He says that he sees a lot of opportunity because, the loans on commercial they're a lot shorter, and a lot of them are going to be coming due, and then they're going to have to refinance at a higher rate. It's going to then open up the supply. A lot of people are going to have to sell, and you could be really aggressive right now with lowballing offers on commercial real estate, as opposed to residential real estate where there's going to be a little less opportunity.
Yeah, residential's the only place you compete with the end-use consumer. When you're in commercial, you're competing with other B2B. So it's your other player is an investor. So everybody's looking for a deal, but nobody's looking to pay an emotional white picket fence for my Yorkie in the backyard price, right? You don't have that with an apartment complex. It's just crunch the numbers. The numbers is the numbers, and the per unit. What are these things selling for per unit, and what's that moving for, or what's office space doing right now, given that some people are working at home, and how much of it's empty, and what's the future of that, and so on. So you just kind of got to play those things through, but you don't really have the same competition. That's why I tell people, the beginning investor, they say, I want to buy a duplex and live in one side and rent out the other. Two problems with that. One is your tenants next door. And two is when you get ready to sell it, the buyer is probably not an emotional buyer, a retail buyer. It's probably another investor, and which means wholesale by definition. And so it doesn't, you're probably not going to see the same appreciation rates on something that the investor market is your pool for resale.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So I did that. I got a duplex, and
Oh no, did I just step in?
I was very lucky. That was the first place that I was really like trying to house hack and get. And so I basically got this place for no money whatsoever. I went in, I fixed it up, I then refinanced it. I pulled all of my cash out, so I had $0 of my own money in this. And with the rent from the other unit and paying down the mortgage, it was a free place for me to live in the middle of Los Angeles. But I also got very lucky. I loved the tenants next door. They were awesome. So for me, that worked out really well. But I do agree with you on the appreciation aspect of that. Looking back from a price standpoint, I would have made more appreciation buying a single family home. But in that case, it worked out really well from getting the rents. So they almost balanced each other out. But from appreciation, it would have been easier to sell a single family home.
Well, and you caught a wave in L.A., which that wave's not cresting right now.
Yeah, correct.
So
I wouldn't be able to do that
If you did that today, you could get your 100%. Did that exact deal today, it might break you.
Yes, I would agree with that. Now, speaking of debt, the national debt is on pace to hit $50 trillion over the next 10 years is what they're estimating. Do you see there being a huge issue with money printing and taking on debt within the economy?
I'm the guy that hates debt more than anybody you've ever met. And I'm baffled by the national debt. Because, when I first started in my 30s, there was books out that the world was coming to an end, right? Bankruptcy 1994 or something? A guy predicting that hockey stick in the debt was going to dry up the money supply, and it was going to crash. It was going to, squeeze the life out of the economy, choke it down, and that the interest rates, that the interest that the U.S. is paying out of their budget line items is far exceeding most other things in the budget, and the thing was gonna flip over mathematically, and we're all gonna die. Another one was coming economic earthquake, and another guy, one of my buddies that buys and sells, and I think the world of him. He and I are complete opposites, but I still love the guy. Is Robert Kiyosaki.
Oh yeah,
and Kiyosaki did a book about the coming end of the world, whatever, the coming economic collapse or whatever he called it. I forget. And so, and it didn't happen. It's kind of like me predicting the coming economic prosperity for the last 6 quarters, but it didn't happen. So, everybody. And the other thing I've noticed, there's a lot of people writing books on the end of the world to do this stuff. And as I've gotten old, I've noticed that old white men really have this desire for the world to come to an end. I don't know what the problem is, but they keep bringing me these. They keep sending me these manuscripts that are half typed out, looks like something from a movie, right? And you need to tell the world about this, Dave. And it's the coming economic earthquake. The world's going to end, And I hate debt, and I don't like that we're doing this, but a long time ago, it was supposed to have collapsed everything, and it hasn't, which I don't understand.